we realized the past 10 years is a very old-fashioned industry, no innovation in, not really focus on clients. And then the idea of simplifying real estate started actually. If the company wants to scale, I have to scale myself. Optimizing myself, being more efficient, being more healthy, more sleep, no alcohol, more sports. I really like what I do. I like to struggle. You know, it's for me like I need struggle. In this moment, you're just really down and you just try to settle up again. But I always try to motivate, hey, I'm back, I will do it, and I'm the right guy for it.
Hey everyone, we're here in beautiful Zurich and we're about to meet Levent Künzi, the founder and CEO of Properti. He built the company from scratch and scaled it up out of Switzerland. We're gonna, of course, talk about scaling up, but also about leadership and culture. Let's get Levent on board and say hi. Levent, good to see you.
Good to see you. Always a pleasure with you.
Thank you for having me back, us back. We're here on the beautiful rooftop of Properti. What does this place here mean to you? It's on top of your offices. It's a very special place, I imagine.
I think it's movement. A movement, this place for me movement, this place is for me disruption. This place is for me like doing something differently, giving ownership to people and really, disrupting the market and creating value for all, real estate consumers, let's say buyers, tenants, landlords, sellers, and about simplifying things, right?
How many people work for or with you now?
At the moment, we are more or less 180.
Wow.
Most in Switzerland, we have part of the team also in Istanbul, Turkey, some in India and also in Serbia. And more or less 180 at the moment.
This must feel very special. You built the company from scratch. How do you feel when you walk through the office and there are so many people working for you now?
I think it's proud of the people. Like I'm really proud of the people because at the end of the day, they have done that and they believe in the vision and in the mission which we have in simplifying real estate. I think that's actually what's showing me, right?
I want to now check out your office and then sit down with you for a conversation. Let's go down.
Let's go down.
Levent, welcome back to the Swisspreneur show. It's a pleasure to be here with you in your beautiful offices.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so for having me.
You're the founder and CEO at Properti, the leading real estate agent for all real estate transactions, also with a comprehensive ecosystem. Before we talk about what exactly you do and what problem you solve, you started your company together with your brother. Yeah. And I wonder, was there a certain moment where you felt, this is it, let's do that, we start a company together?
When I started Properti at this time, I had a burnout. It was not really planned, to be honest. It was 10 years in the industry already. I was working at a really traditional agent in Switzerland, Austria, and also Germany. And these 10 years, I really learned that the real estate agents, the brokerage business, is a very old-fashioned industry, right? After leaving the company, I remember that I was really bored at home, let's say, right? So it was really, my doctor said, hey, you have to calm down. You should just rest now. And I was home and had this burnout and was then also a certain way a bit depressed, let's say. And I really wanted to work, right? And then I had this one day, which I was at home with my brother and then we were talking about, hey, I have to go to work. And I already had 2 offers from other companies, which actually wrote me. And I was like, hey, no, I can't. I was still had these health issues. And then we're saying, okay, let's do real estate. And the main reason was that we realized the past 10 years it's a very old-fashioned industry, no innovation in, not really focus on clients. And then the idea of simplifying real estate started actually.
So what did you do differently to simplify it, to add value to this very old but not very disrupted industry?
I think it was really putting the consumer, the clients as a North Star, let's say, right? And with the aspect of, okay, simplifying real estate and really also about building processes to help them having a leaner process, let's say. But it was not something that we really disrupted the market and it was completely different. We focus on clients and fully automatize it actually.
And usually in the real estate business, you get paid by a commission, right? If you help to facilitate a transaction, you get paid a commission based on the selling or the purchase price.
Exactly.
Is that also the core of your business model, or how do you make money?
It's actually the whole the transaction business, yes, exactly. So when we sell or rent out the property, we get the commission. So at this time, it was not really common that like agencies only work on success. So most of the agencies, they had like activation fees, monthly fees. And we said, hey, no, we really want to be paid by success. So if we do our job and the property owner can still decide if he accepts the buyer or tenant or not. So he is really flexible and certain way with the collaboration is risk-free because he decides if he wants to sell or rent out to our buyer or tenant, right? And I think it was really focusing on the client and trying to have services which he likes, and he always can really simple decide if he wants to go on with the buyer or tenant or not.
Got it. So you basically went from idea to market leader in less than 5 years. That is a remarkable speed. And I wonder, was there a certain point where you felt like this is really working? We hit product market fit now.
One important point is, like, as you know, we started first with a transaction business, like service business, this neo brokerage, let's say, like really hybrid real estate model, right? And then we bootstrapped it for the first 2 years, and we reinvested actually all the money in the platform, right? And I think there was not a moment where we said, okay, we reach a product market fit, but like you do transaction, you grow, we grow, right? And you know, hey, okay, we're doing revenue with it, right? Mm-hmm. And then we started to focus more on the whole platform business, let's say, on the whole platform, and really reinvested heavily. And as we are already real estate guys, we knew what we could do better, right? So it's not like that we just came from another industry and we said, okay, we are disrupting this one. So we knew the business quite good already. And we said, okay, let's focus on the transactions, do it better, right?
Yeah. So I hear you. You say, if you want to scale, double down on what's working and focus on what's really working. Yeah. Was there a certain revenue threshold or any other KPIs that you looked at before you said, okay, we hit this goal and now we're really willing and able to actually double down and to scale up?
Yeah, but there were like 3 things more or less where we look at. One thing is really like the efficiency thing, like how much revenues compared to traditional agent or agents do. It's like it's 3.8 to 4x
Wow.
compared.
That's a huge leverage.
I think that was also the combination of the platform with the centralized services where we are really good at, right? Then the second point is really the time to transaction. So the idea of, okay, when we compare like 3 years ago to now, our agents, they do a much faster time to transaction. Mm-hmm. So it's really the aspect how fast they can do a transaction. That's the second KPI, quite important. And the third one is really the basket size, right? So really about, hey, okay, what's the average commission? How we can like have better margin in it, right? And I think that's the third quite important KPI, right? And also coming a bit back to your question before, I really believe that you ask what's about the multiples and stuff. Like we are a transaction-based platform. Like I think one of the biggest USP is the platform, right? Also like the whole AI, which we implement and enhance actually the whole brokerage thing, right? An agent-centric way of work, and of course the people, culture, community, which is key, right?
So usually talking about people, right? You usually think about, okay, we want to scale, we want to grow as a company. And then the first thing you think about is increasing your headcount. Yeah. But do you even need that to scale up in the age of AI and you as also a software platform?
Yeah, I think there are 2 sides, right? I think one side is when you want to scale up and grow, and we had this learning also the past, that's 1.5 year, it's always you start to hire more people. And I think one learning which I had is really like try to hire slow. Right? Like try to hire the right people, culture fit, and if you hired them and you realize in the first few months it's not working, like be fast with your decision, right? And I think so with AI, like the whole world changes crazily, and it's everything going so fast. I think AI is also here a crazy efficiency gain for all of us, right? To be more efficient and to help us to make a better job, right? But I think it's also important as a company to understand it's a mindset thing. So you have to take your team on the journey, right? It's because they are like afraid of their jobs, they're losing them, or AI is coming. And I think it's important that you as an organization really think about, okay, how to implement AI. Like we separate between efficiency gains and operations. And the other thing is really building AI on our platform, like an AI co-pilot and so on. But it's important that you take your people on the path, right? And the change management, I believe with AI, we don't need the same amount of people. I don't say I lay off people now because of AI. I use AI to make 4x, let's say. I think that's an important point. Like being more efficient, I'm using AI and doing a much more better job. And people have to change from, let's say, this just doing a job to really thinking about how they can create value with the use of AI also.
Yeah. Sorry, is it okay if I do a quick accounting workout? An accounting what? Workout. Infinity gets my accounting done in just 30 seconds. That's enough time for my daily squats. You're not going to the gym? Sure, but unfortunately, Infinity is too fast for a proper workout. Infinity Swiss is the most advanced accounting system in Switzerland. They seamlessly integrate with your e-banking solution, import all transactions, and thanks to their AI power, they automatically suggest the right bookings. So you can actually book a full quarter in one go. This makes it the perfect solution for the self-employed, small businesses, and startups. You can also upload your receipts, something I truly hate myself, in one go. And thanks to the AI solution, you can again book everything in one go. You can also seamlessly send out invoices, quotes, manage projects, and get everything done with real-time dashboards. Head over to infinity.swiss/Swisspreneur to save your 25% discount and get started right away. Now let's head back to Levent and see how property manages its business. Leaving the people topic, you have other aspects that are crucial for scaling a company.
Yeah.
Probably the logical next one is if you want to hire people, you need some money because you make an upfront investment, so to speak.
Yeah.
So raising funds is usually the next thing that you need to tackle.
Yeah.
How do you go and think about that part?
I think for now, for us, it's really the talk to be profitable. So we are on the right path, and yeah, this year we are profitable. I think that was for us a big milestone. And we just last quarter we had a growth of I think 26-27% still. So we're growing over 20% still, which is very nice actually. For us now, target number one is being profitable, showing also that the business model works, scaling over the platform. I think that we could really show the past 3 years quite good. And then the next step is really having the right investors, growth investors, perhaps even private equity to make the next step, right? So me personally, we are at the point to think about the aspect how we want to grow, right? And for that, we need a clear strategy, right? And we're working on that at the moment to also get in the right investors here. But I think also here it's important for the next stage. For me, having investors on board which really challenged me, which bring the company to the next level. And that's something which I also realized. And people always think, yeah, the CEO knows everything. But that's not true. Like sometimes we're just struggling with answers and we have to find out the right solutions. We're speaking with people. And I have quite a tight relationship with our investors, especially also with our board. So I'm really this guy which just calls when I'm struggling, right? Because I think it's very important to speak about your challenges and problems and also have people around you which bring you to the next level, right? So it's always about, hey, am I doing the right thing? Is my decision right? And also challenging these decisions with other people and get their influence, right? To rethink again, right? And I think for the next stage for property, it's very important to have investors, which for me especially also challenge me, which bring the company to the next level and help us to really grow to 50, 100 million, right?
I also want to talk a bit about your role in this whole thing. Of course, you're the founder, you're the CEO, you're the face of property, but you also went through that journey. And I assume your role changed quite a lot over that time, from founding the company to now scaling it up and being the market leader. What were the biggest changes along that process? Because you probably switched from maybe even doing viewings of objects yourself in the early days to now building the machine, so to speak.
2 big changes happened in the past 5.5 years. One big change really started with myself. I had to realize like this hustling mode, let's say, like working, I guess, to be honest, I love to work. So I think it's not about working hours, but really this hustling mode all the time, push of, hey, if the company wants to scale, I have to scale myself, right? So really having this sustainable growth, let's say, in a certain way. So yeah, like there was a time I was over 120 kilos, right? Because I lost some weight now. But it started with myself, right? Optimizing myself, being more efficient, being more healthy, more sleep, no alcohol, more sports, right? So I think one big thing is really the change of myself, understanding if I want to scale, it starts with me because my job isn't operational anymore. Let's say, I have to work on the strategy. I'm the architect of everything, like meaning of, hey, I have to try to give the people the right path, and they have to work then deep on the strategy. But it's really about, hey, what's the strategy? Where do you want to head to? And really working not in the company, working on the company. Actually, I think that's a big difference.
Talking about struggles, you built a very successful, profitable company. But the journey there is, of course, you have a lot of obstacles and ups and downs. That is entrepreneurship. Was there ever a point where you felt like, I quit, this is it, I will leave it, it's not gonna work, or I'm fed up with it, I'm done, I wanna leave and stop with my company?
I think that, I really like what I do. I like to struggle. It's for me, like, I need struggle. I need struggle. I need problems to solve. There were 1-2 moments which I was really not sure if I want to go on, but it was not because I was tired or something. It was just because I wasn't sure if I'm the right one or not.
Okay.
And I think in such moments, every time like I had this moment, I was stronger coming back, let's say. And sometimes you just take yourself out. You have to take yourself out and like, yeah, discuss with other founders, CEOs about the struggles, just being very honest to understand how they act in certain moments, right? And of course they are like, there are sleepless nights where you just ask yourself, hey, what I'm doing wrong? And I think like that's part of the journey. And every time I thought, okay, now we solved the problem, everything will be better. Like everything will be better. The next problem started.
Always,
Always. And I think that you start to be used to that. Like it's something common, okay, now it's the next challenge, okay, let's tackle that. And it's really about, you're not seeing problems as a problem. A problem is a challenge to solve, and it's your job to solve it.
And you also get better. This is a bit like training, right?
Yeah.
If you solve more problems and then the next one comes in, oh, we already did so many, so let's just tackle that one. Can you take us back to one of the 2 moments where you were seriously thinking about quitting, where you were questioning whether you're still the right fit for the company? What were the thoughts that went through your head back then?
If you look at the past 3-4 years, it was a very challenging environment. So like if you imagine, like we started end of 2019. So Operation, we started November 2019. 4 months later, actually, Corona came. And people didn't let us in anymore to make the visits, to make videos or whatever. So we just were saying, okay, how we go on now? Like, what can we do, right? And like our competent war started, Ukraine, Russia, now we have the whole part in Israel with Palestine, and also with Iran. Meanwhile, we have the whole financial crisis, right? And especially real estate is a very like, it's very related to the economic also in a certain way, right? Also with the interest rates which went up and so on. So in this moment, I started to realize, okay, property has been founded in a very crucial moment, and we had different crises the past 5 years. And if I don't do it, someone else will do it. And I think it's really about the aspect of standing up again and pushing yourself again and understanding, hey, okay, it's your job to solve it, right? And I think, of course, there were these 2 like big 2 moments, which I also started to speak with my brother about it, and I said to him, hey, I'm just tired. I think I can't solve this problem, and it's about, in this moment, you're just really down, and you just try to settle up again. But I always try to motivate, hey, I'm back, I will do it, and I'm the right guy for it.
So it was not specifically a problem or topic, but more the tiredness that got you there to question yourself?
It was like, it's the aspect of, you're in a fundraising process, as example. You get one no after another no, and you just know how you have just to push, keep going, right? And it was not always easy, as example, with fundraising.
Of course.
Or other moments which we had in the company, which perhaps, we lost someone, or I think it's not this moment which just came It's more about it's summarizing everything, and you're saying, hey, you can't do it anymore.
And just a very simple question. If you think back about the sacrifices that you made, you know, not spending as much time with your friends, family, not working out in the early days, was it worth the sacrifice?
100%. No, really 100%. Because I really believe you need to invest this time for like to really like the hustle model is so important. And I think for me, like where we are is because we tried to give all the time 20%. We grew quite fast. I also know our numbers. I know the numbers of the competitions, and I knew that we're doing an amazing job, right? And of course, it's about how to do the job for the company, for our people, and for the consumers, right?
And what is something that you want your team, your employees to remember you for 10 years from now? They say, I worked with or for Levent.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I would like them to remember about me.
Yeah, it's very funny. Like there's not the one thing, but one like I remember. That's why I just laughed. Like 8 or 9 years ago, or 10 years ago, in my last company, I always say to my team, either you love me or you hate me. The most important thing is that you learn something, right? And there was one guy, I think at this moment he hated me, and he called me like 9 months ago, and he told me, "Hey, Levent, you are really an asshole." And I said, okay, yeah, sorry, but I really learned a lot, and you showed me such important things in business, which I'm very grateful for you. And he gave me a present, and he said, hey, I'm very thankful for that. I think one thing which I think people should remember is really believing in yourself, thinking big, like a bit our values also, you know, like making failures, think big, and Levent was hard but fair.
Yeah.
And I think it's about creating value at the end of the day.
And making people better, I assume. That's, yeah, I like that. So looking into the future,
Yeah.
where do you want to take property? What is sort of the vision that still gets you out of bed in the morning? Do you want to do an IPO one day? Do you want to get acquired? Do you want to build a big, profitable international beast?
Yeah.
What do you strive for?
You know, it's I think one thing is being first target is being market leader till 2030. In Switzerland, 5% market share, then becoming category leader in Europe. So the idea is really going out of Switzerland and being number one in our business feed, our business, and grow. So for me, it's at the point that we say, okay, we have to make an exit. Now, IPO could be something nice, of course, right? It would be very interesting, also the whole process. But I think step by step, right? And it's not like I'm not standing up in the morning saying, hey, I have to make tomorrow an exit. I think if you're doing that, there's a wrong motivation. Sure. And it's really about disrupting a market, being number one, having great people on board and growing together, right?
But at one point, your investors probably want to have a return on their investment.
Yeah, that's the point. I just discussed yesterday at General Assembly, and we discussed about this thing, right? And also there, like, let's see what's next, right? I think next one will be growth, investors, private equity, and let's see how we go on. Yeah. But I'm here, what the company needs, and that's actually my job.
You focus on building not a good, but a great business, and you're open to whatever happens next.
I'm
Amazing.
all in, yeah, giving 20%. I think that's the most important.
Absolutely. Levent, thank you so much for having us at your offices here.
Thank you.
You are a real inspiration, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sticking with us until the very end. If you want to hear about more success stories, scale-ups, and astronauts flying to the moon and beyond, make sure to follow Swisspreneur on YouTube and the podcast platform of your choosing. See you next time, and all the best until then.